Well, good morning. Today is July 10, and it is a full moon today. It's called the buck moon, and it's in Capricorn. So Capricorn is at the end of the zodiac. It is one of the ancient symbols, the zodiac signs. It's a person who's Capricorn holds a lot of old world stuff. They are deep. Their eyes are usually deep set, that they go inwards, they analyze. They're very mature as a child, as a baby even. I have a son who is a Capricorn, and he was very new. Someone looked into his eyes and said, "Oh, he's an ancient soul." It's like, yep, and that's played out all the way through his life. Takes things very deeply. And so where we are now in this incredible time is that the Capricorn full moon is bringing up a deep maturity, wisdom, and in a way an analysis that many do not even know that they have. Let me back. In the last couple of days, my Facebook feed has been showing the amazing, beautiful photographs and videos of the powwows going on at this time of year with all of the Native American tribes, the original inhabitants and stewards of this great land. I am blessed to have a background and open to me about 35 years ago into learning the wisdoms and the peoples and the teachings, and just being allowed to be present within the Native American cultures. And I have, even though I do not have that specifically in my ancestral blood, it is in very much deep in my ancestral soul. When I go for walks and on the land and out in beautiful places, many a time I can just have a song come through, a song that is in a language that I am not familiar with, a song with a tune, a beat, words in languages that are completely unknown to me, of unfamiliar, yet they flow way more easily out of my mouth and into the ethers, out into the sounds and the songs, than speaking these words like I am right now. There is something that I remember, and it's the land that activates as I walk. When I was watching many of the powwows, the regalia, it's not a costume, it's a regalia, that all of these participants, the dancers, and participants in any form, they make their own regalia. They spend usually the entire year, from when they finish one powwow to the next, planning and sewing and creating and collecting the pieces that will go into the regalia for the coming year. They are hand done, they are magnificent, and everything that is put into the creation of each unique piece of regalia has a purpose, has a message, has a reason for being present within the storyline that they will be emanating out. They are a prophecy, they are a message from within. And as I was watching and remembering the ones I had been to, and So wished and desired that I could be part of it, but of course I'm not. I'm the observer, but I take in all I can. I was thinking, oh my gosh, the time that they are dancing, that all ages, from little tiny toddlers to the ancient and older grandmas and grandfathers, they were receiving and transmitting messages through their body, through their feet, into the land, and then receiving and bringing it back again. It was like they were dancing a combination of war dances, peace dances, creation dances, finality dances. It was really remarkable what I was picking up. And then I was witnessing and thinking back of what has happened and transpired in the last couple of months, but most specifically in the last couple of weeks, and the tragedies of the Texas flooding, of the deportations, of the complete and utter hatred that is emanating from people, starting with the highest office and going down through men and women of all ages and types. And to me, it is absolutely unfathomable, the hatred that is being displayed. And then the absolute compassion and empathy and generosity of those who are seeing the call of people in trouble, in absolute dire need, and the president who is holding a very high field of compassion and understanding and knowledge of the position she's in, and allows her people, the ones who are being persecuted from this side, to come and help save those who are drowning in the torrents of water, in the river that is a separator between these two complete contradictions. And that was coming through as I was watching the dancers at the powwow, the contradictions of their history and the atrocities, the same type of atrocities that they have gone through since the first white Spaniards and Dutch and French and English arrived on these shores, and then to the history that has continued. Yet there's something that they were transmitting. And then I have never been a social media person. I had my Facebook thing and I would catch up with people, but I was not into it. I'd never been on TikTok or Instagram, and then eventually about 6 months ago I got onto them for varying reasons. And now I find it, I go on, and sometimes too much, particularly on TikTok, to learn the pulse of what is happening, what the thoughts are, who's speaking, what age groups, what the messages they have, the uplifting, and also the revelations and the research they're doing. And this is where I get the pulse of where the people and their consciousness are evolving. And in the last month, and each day of that month coming up to where we are now, there is more and more consciousness awakening. There is more verbal expression from people of all ages, and their thoughts and their perspectives and their desires of what should happen, what needs to stop, what needs to change, where we are, who we are, what do we want to become. And this pulse is like what was happening watching the dances at the powwows, whether it be the Lakota or the Choctaw or the Cherokee or any. I watched dozens and dozens of the tribes, and each one, the message was the same. They it was like they were being called collectively at this moment to dance and shake awake the earth matrix in response to the conversations, the consciousness of those who don't hold that same ancestry, but in their consciousness and their humanity, they are lifting up the power of the voice, of their thoughts, individually in the collective. Like each dancer is individually competing and dancing and sharing within the collective tribe. This is how it works. And more and more and more you are seeing, after all of the insane laws and breakdowns that we have been seeing, there are major cracks, even chasms happening within the establishment, because it can't hold against the light that is being revealed. And it's the light of truth, of awakening, of consciousness. When I look at Los Angeles and other places when you have the great forces of the masculine gladiator, reminiscent of the Colosseum, all decked out in their major armor, it is once again David and Goliath. Well, we know the story of David and Goliath, how it began and how it ended. This is what is playing out right now. It is the Goliath in all of their hardware and in crazy, insane, robotic-looking behaviors, trying and demonstrating their power over the other. Well, what is power? It is not what is being demonstrated in the higher realms of the government. That is not power. As we all know, it's authority and it's dictatorship and it's bullying at its hugest, biggest evidence. But power, now listen to these words, is the potential of wonder engaging regalness. So what is happening is in the conversations, in the awakening of the consciousness of everyday people, because of what those who are being deemed bad, evil, and all of the rest of it, those what I call the angels of consciousness, are showing and revealing is that within that consciousness there is and the horrific things that are going on with people, the power of the wonder within what can our consciousness do to become a majestic being through our behavior, through our actions, through our thoughts, not with all of the armor that the gladiators wear. They will never have it. Those gladiators will never have power. They are minions. The power is of the people, revealing that wonder of their majesty, of their regalness within their ability to hold a high frequency of truth, of life, of what is good, and how they would like our world to become anew. The land that all of the tribes collectively, the original inhabitants for thousands of years, are dancing, stomping, calling out, singing songs that you have no idea what they are, and to you and to many they're like gibberish, they are just sounds. No. These are sacred chants that are being emanated through their bodies from the matrix of Mother Earth. They are templates of sound frequency vibration being reactivated through their right to be dancing on the land, wherever and however that is. Their songs are being emanated out, and those who are finally waking and speaking and calling out are being allowed to be present within that, catching hold of those, and I believe collectively the high life consciousness of the feminine is helping us all bind and weave together in the matrix that will hold illumination to what's going on. And the very piece that I think is the little black book. Now, the saying, that little phrase, the little black book, has been around forever. It's like, do you have a little black book of secrets, buried somewhere? People would write, decipher things and codes and in these little tiny black books that were, maybe 2 inches by 3 inches, and they put them in their pocket, and they would write in them, and they were a sacred Bibles. This goes back years and years and years. And it's just that title, The Little Black Book. What's in the Little Black Book? Well, now we have the Little Black Book. And I have seen in that Little Black Book. And there are names. Oh, all sorts of information in that Little Black Book. And you can go and find it. It's there, dig. Just keep on putting it in there. And, it's there. But they can't hide that anymore. As much as they want. The Little Black Book has the names that they don't want to be shown from all over the world, in all different ways. So with it, if you may have to listen to this message a couple of times to actually really understand it. But what is happening is finally, this is like, thank God, thank you. I have been waiting for this for so long. Seriously, my entire life. And you may think, since this, what's going on now, is what my generation, 60s, this is what we were trying to get out. This is what it was to stop all the wars, to stop the Vietnam War, to stop hatred, to stop, we'd seen enough, to stop all of this, all of the lies, the profit, the corruption. We knew all of these things, and it was all dismissed and broken down, and we know what happened, we know the history. But not now. No, not now. Before I leave this planet, before I die, I am getting these messages out in what I can do, and I am saying, you people now, you are responsible for the future. You are responsible for creating the world. Our generation birthed the 40s, 50s, and 60-year-olds. You birthed the teens, the 20s, and the 30s-year-olds now. This is the responsibility. This is the responsibility that I'm fighting. I'm fighting in the highest way. And so in the last 3 days, I'm going, what am I going to talk about? I had nothing. And then when I saw the dances and the powwow, and I remembered my vision quest up in the mountains, and I was shown to come out of this place where I was put on the mountain in the middle of the night, and I was like, how do I find my way out? And there was the moon, And the message was, if you are to help others find their way out of the darkness, you have to find your way out of this darkness. And somewhere around 3 o'clock in the morning, I come out and I arrive at the Inipi, where we had the lodge for the beginning of my vision quest. I found it, and everybody was asleep. The firekeeper was asleep. The fire was still going, but it was very low. No one expected anyone to come out of the mountains in the middle of the night. But that was my lesson. If you are to help others come out of this darkness, out of the darkness, you need to know how to get out of this darkness now. And so I will not rest. I will be shown and told. So it's the ancient ones, whether it be the indigenous tribes of all of the tribes in this land, the Maya, all the indigenous cultures, the Aboriginals everywhere. I know I have a seed of all of it in my soul, and they are speaking now. They are breaking the matrix to awaken, and we have to catch those messages. Blessings. Keep going. Hold the light. Hold yourself the highest you can, and never waver. This, your soul has a mission for you, no matter what your age is at this point in time. Aho, mitakwiyase. We are all related in all ways, in all time frames. Blessings.